In a world that often celebrates the loudest voices and the flashiest displays, there exists a subtle, powerful art, the art of quiet success. It's a way of being that favors humility over bravado, substance over spectacle, and inner fulfillment over outward applause. This is the story of how quiet success can shape lives, build legacies, and inspire others without ever demanding the spotlight. Imagine a bustling city, where the rhythm of ambition pulses through every street. In this city lives a man named Arun, whose journey will illuminate the essence of quiet success. Arun was not born into privilege, nor did he possess extraordinary talents that set him apart from the crowd. His gifts, however, were of a different nature: patience, integrity, and an unwavering commitment to excellence. As a child, Arun watched his father labor tirelessly in a small tailor shop. The shop was modest, tucked away in a corner of their neighborhood, and its walls bore the marks of years gone by. There were no grand signs, no advertisements, only the soft hum of the sewing machine and the gentle, steady hands of his father. Customers would come, not for flash, but for craftsmanship. Arun's father believed that true worth was in the work itself, and that pride should be taken in doing things well, not in showing off the results. This lesson took root in Arun's heart. As he grew, he carried it with him, quietly observing the world around him. He saw classmates boast about their grades, neighbors flaunt their new cars, and friends chase recognition. Arun, however, found satisfaction in the process. He studied diligently, not for the praise, but for the joy of understanding. He helped others, not for the gratitude, but because it was the right thing to do. When Arun graduated from university, he entered the competitive world of business. Here he faced a new kind of challenge, one that tested his commitment to quiet success. The workplace was a stage, and many of his colleagues were eager performers. They spoke loudly of their achievements, sought out the boss's attention, and posted their triumphs on every available platform. At times, Arun felt invisible among the noise, his contributions overlooked in favor of those who made themselves heard. Yet, Arun remained true to his principles. He focused on the quality of his work, always striving for improvement. He listened more than he spoke, learning from those around him and offering thoughtful input when it mattered. He built relationships based on trust and respect, never manipulating or competing for favor. When mistakes were made, he took responsibility quietly, working to correct them rather than deflect blame or make excuses. Over time, Arun's approach began to yield results. His projects were consistently successful, his teams functioned smoothly, and those who worked with him recognized his reliability. Promotions came not because he demanded them, but because his impact was undeniable. His reputation was built on a foundation of substance. People knew that if Arun was involved, things would be done right. Yet, even as his career flourished, Arun did not boast. He celebrated his victories privately, sharing them only with close family and friends. He used his successes to uplift others, mentoring young professionals and supporting colleagues in their growth. He invested in learning, never assuming that he had reached the peak, always searching for new ways to contribute. Arun's story is not one of meteoric rise or dramatic turns. It is a story of persistence, of faith in quiet effort, of building step by step. He did not seek the spotlight, but the spotlight found him, not through noise, but through the undeniable glow of genuine achievement. This is the art of quiet success. It is the recognition that true accomplishment does not need to be paraded before the world. It is the understanding that real confidence comes from knowing what you have done, not from convincing others of your worth. It is the wisdom to let your actions speak, rather than your words.
Quiet success is often misunderstood in a culture that equates visibility with value. We are taught to market ourselves, to shout our talents from rooftops, to measure our worth in likes, shares, and followers. But there is another way, a way that honors the inner journey, the steady pursuit of mastery, and the joy of doing things well for their own sake.
Consider the story of Maya, a writer whose words have touched thousands, though her name is seldom known. Maya began writing as a form of personal expression, penning stories late at night when the world was silent. She submitted her work to magazines, often anonymously, preferring the thrill of creation to the lure of fame. Her writing resonated deeply, and readers found solace, inspiration, and beauty in her stories. Publishers approached Maya, offering contracts and urging her to publicize her identity. She declined, choosing instead to focus on her craft. She shared her earnings with charity, helped aspiring writers, and continued to write simply for the love of it. Over the years, her influence grew, not through self-promotion, but through the quiet power of her work. Maya's story reminds us that quiet success is not about hiding, but about choosing where to direct our energy. It is about prioritizing the work itself, the impact on others, and the satisfaction of personal growth. It is about recognizing that greatness can be achieved without spectacle, and that fulfillment often lies in the journey, not the destination. There is wisdom in restraint. The ancient philosopher Lao Tzu wrote, "He who knows does not speak. He who speaks does not know." While this may seem extreme, it points to a deeper truth. The more secure we are in our abilities, the less we feel the need to broadcast them. The greatest achievements often come from those who are too busy working to waste time on self-congratulation. Quiet success is not without its challenges. It requires patience, as recognition may be slow to arrive. It demands resilience, as the temptation to seek quick validation can be strong. It calls for self-awareness, to separate genuine accomplishment from the need for approval. And it insists on integrity, to remain steadfast even when others choose a different path. But the rewards are profound. Quiet success builds character. It fosters deep relationships rooted in trust, not competition. It allows for true mastery, as the focus remains on improvement rather than appearance. It brings lasting fulfillment, as achievements are measured by personal standards, not fleeting applause. The art of quiet success also transforms the world around us. When we lead by example, others are inspired to do the same. When we help without expecting recognition, we create a culture of generosity. When we celebrate others' achievements, we build community. And when we choose humility over arrogance, we become a source of strength for those who struggle to find their own way. There are countless stories of scientists whose discoveries changed the world, but whose names remain unknown, of teachers whose influence shaped generations, though they never sought the spotlight, of artists whose work endures, even as their identities fade into obscurity. These are the architects of quiet success, the unsung heroes whose impact is felt long after the applause dies down. What, then, is the secret to quiet success? It begins with intention, a conscious choice to value substance over appearance. It requires discipline, to keep working when recognition is slow, to keep learning when others stop, to keep giving when praise is absent. It demands courage, to resist the pressure to conform to a culture of self-promotion, and to trust that your work will speak for itself. It also calls for gratitude. Quiet success is not a solitary pursuit. It is built on the support, wisdom, and kindness of others. To achieve quietly is to honor those who have helped you, to acknowledge the contributions of your team, and to share your gains generously. To master the art of quiet success, consider these guiding principles. First, let your work be your signature. Focus on excellence, and let the results speak for themselves. Whether you are building a business, creating art, or serving others, strive for quality in all that you do. Second, embrace humility. Recognize that there is always more to learn, and that others have gifts to offer. Celebrate the achievements of those around you, and seek opportunities to help them grow. Third, cultivate patience. Understand that true success is a marathon, not a sprint. Trust in the process and resist the urge for instant gratification. Fourth, practice gratitude. Remember that your achievements are rarely yours alone. Acknowledge those who have supported you and give back wherever you can. Fifth, find fulfillment in the journey. Enjoy the work for its own sake and seek meaning beyond recognition. Let your satisfaction come from within, not from external applause. Sixth, lead by example. Inspire others through your actions, not your words. Create a legacy that endures, built on integrity, kindness, and quiet strength. Finally, remember that quiet success does not mean isolation. Share your wisdom, mentor those who seek guidance, and build communities of support. Success is sweeter when it is shared, even if it is celebrated quietly. Arun's story did not end with personal achievement. As his career matured, he used his influence to create opportunities for others. He established scholarships for students from humble backgrounds, funded training programs for young professionals, and advocated for ethical practices in his industry. His impact was felt far beyond his own accomplishments, and his legacy grew in the hearts of those he helped. Years later, when Arun retired, a gathering was held in his honor. Colleagues, friends, and family came together, not to showcase his achievements, but to share stories of his kindness, wisdom, and quiet strength. There were no grand speeches or elaborate ceremonies, only heartfelt gratitude for a man who had changed lives, not through showmanship, but through sincere, steady effort. As Arun listened to their words, he felt a deep sense of fulfillment. He realized that true success was not in the trophies or titles, but in the difference he had made. His journey had been quiet, but its echoes would endure. The art of quiet success is available to us all. It is not reserved for the gifted or the privileged. It is a path open to anyone willing to value substance over appearance, to work diligently, and to let their actions speak. In a world that celebrates noise, it is a rebellion of kindness, a revolution of character, and a testament to the enduring power of humility. If you seek quiet success, start today. Focus on your craft, your growth, and your impact. Resist the urge to show off and find joy in the process. Help others along the way and let your legacy be built, one quiet step at a time. Remember that the greatest mountains do not boast of their height, and the most beautiful rivers flow silently through the land. In nature, as in life, true greatness is often quiet, gentle, and persistent. Choose the art of quiet success and discover the profound fulfillment that comes from living with purpose, integrity, and grace. Let your story be one of substance. Let your achievements be measured not by applause, but by the lives you touch. Let your success be quiet, but let its impact be lasting. For in the end, it is not the noise that endures, but the work done well, the kindness given freely, and the legacy built on humility. This is the art of quiet success. It is a gift you give to yourself and to the world. Cherish it, nurture it, and let it guide you through every chapter of your journey. The world may not always notice, but those who matter will. And your story, though told quietly, will inspire others for generations to come.